Hey guys, and welcome back to another Relative Shenanigans video. Today I'm going to be teaching you how to play Cobra Kai Road to Victory from Netflix. Let's do it. To set up the game, choose which sensei you would like to be a part of. So like which team you are. Kreese, Lawrence, Silver, and LaRusso. Once you've chosen your team, put the brackets. Look, there's A, and then there's B. Make sure to put them on the right one. A, B. This is going to be the setup for a 2-player, and then I'll teach you 3 and 4. So if you're not playing with 3 players, then take out all these blue cards. You won't need them. And then shuffle the student cards, and deal 2 to the left and right of each player playing. Put the rest of the students, and if you're not playing 3-player, the 3 blue rival cards into the box. You won't need them for this game. Okay, then flip the cards. This is your bracket A students. These are your bracket B students. So this team's bracket B, this team's bracket A, this team's bracket A, and this team's bracket B. Take all of the red bordered cards out of the deck with this symbol and set them aside. Combine these 2 types of cards into a deck and shuffle them to make your training deck, and set that in reach of all players. If you're playing with 3 or 4 players, then there will be 3 of the teams or 4 of the teams. So now you're on to the training phase. Deal 9 cards to each person. Place the rest of the deck aside, and you get to choose 1 card from this deck to keep. Flashback cards are helpful because you use them in between the fight or before the fight starts. So play before your next roll, re-roll all of your misses this round, and then you've got like all these training cards. The ones, if I can find one, the one with this symbol, this means end of training. If you have 2 plus flame, draw 2 extra flashback cards. So if you see a card with, let me check this other deck. Yep, this. If you see this kind of card, it only is worth flames, and it doesn't do anything else except for give you some stats maybe. This one doesn't give any stats. Also, they never say in the instructions where this goes, but if you want to use it, this is a reminder for what to do for each game. And if you want to pause to see what it says, there you go. So when I said set the training deck aside, I meant put it back in the box. You won't need it for the rest of the game. Okay, so in the training phase, you have to draft. So you choose 1 card you want to draft, which means 1 card you want to keep. So beware, this flame symbol, this means that if you have a card, say this, end of training, if you have 2 plus flame, draw 2 extra flashback cards, then if you have this, you can play that card. So they're going to do that. You place it right in front of you, and then you pass it to the other person, and the other person does that, or you pass it to the person to your left, sorry. And then they get to choose what they want to do. You can draft flashback cards if you want to. So let's say they do, then they're going to put it in front of them, and then they will give it to the other person. Once you both have 2 cards left in your deck, then draft 1 more. So they're going to draft this, and they're going to draft this. Then discard the 1 card left into the box. You won't need it. Okay, so once you're done with that, now it's time for the training montage. Any flashback cards stay away, and then the rest go with you. So, training, or there we go. So let me show you what it looks like when you're all set up for the training montage. I'll set it up in just a moment, but what you do is, while you're doing that, you're saying like how prepared and trained your students are, just for fun. And then you solve the actions. So these two is just end of training, draw 2 extra flashback cards. So then they do that. They draw 2 extra flashback cards twice. Okay, so then they get to choose the order of each of them. So if you have 2 plus flame, draw 2 extra flashback cards. They don't, so that will go first. Discard this card unless you discard a flashback card from your hand, and discard this card unless you've gained at least 1, 1, and 1 from other cards. So it looks like they haven't, so discard this card unless you discard a flashback card from your hand, and discard this card unless you've gained. So they have to discard this card. So this goes in the box. And then this one, you have to discard a flashback. So let's see, which one should they discard? They have 2 eavesdrops, so they're going to discard one of those into the box. So then these are kind of useless. But here's the setup I like to do, where you set it up where all the stats are showing like this, if you can see that. These cards have nothing on them, so I just did it like that. Okay, now it's time for the top player. So let's see what they got. They got 2 flames, so they're going to play that first. Sorry, they got 2 flames, so they're going to play that first because there's 2 flame action cards. So then, if you have 2 plus, draw 2 extra flashback cards, so they're going to do that next. Or I'm going to put this one, yeah, that one's next, that one. I'll show you what I'm sold with. Okay, so these are both saying if you have 2 plus flame, draw 2 extra flashback cards, so they get to draw 4 of them. And then they got to play these. So, end of training, you may ignore 1 discard this card effect. Discard this card unless you discard a flashback card, so they're going to play that on this. So now they get to keep it, and it goes with them. So then we have 2 cards left. We have draw 1 extra flashback card, which is special. There we go. Right in their deck. Sorry, let me zoom out for you guys. There you go. Now you can see it. So this was a flame they already played. So this is also stats, so we're going to put that there. And then they have 1 last card. End of training. Discard this card unless you've gained at least 1, 1, and 1 from other cards they have. Boom, boom, and boom. So then they get to keep this as well. So now their stats are up there, and their flashback cards are still with them. So yeah, these go with it, but I'm just thinking since you don't need them, I'd discard the cards. Okay. So now that you've done every single action, you're ready to move on to the tournament phase. Okay, so in the tournament phase, place all dice and block tokens in reach of all players. There you go. I'm just going to fix these back to normal. And then, since you're playing 2-player, you're going to need this board instead. Let me just show all of it. Zoom out a little. There we go. So then you're going to need to gather your victory token. Just place that in reach. And then you're ready to start the tournament. First you have to grab your bracket A, or sorry, let me slow down. Choose who's player 1 and player 2. So let's say red is player 1. Then on the board, they're going to be player 1. So then you place their token on player A. And then you place their bracket A on token on player 2A. Okay. Okay, so how do you fight? So the first fight is going to be used, let me show you. Fight, or round number 1 in each fight is going to be the electricity is the equal number of dice you get. And the block tokens, and the symbol block is how many block tokens you get. So it looks like on this team, we have 4 block tokens and 5 dice. You can see that because we're not using B. So you have to use A, so that's their stats. So this one we have 2 dice and 3 block tokens. So let's gather those up. By the way, I should mention this, all these extra flashback cards or red bordered cards, put them all back. You're not going to be grabbing flashback cards mid-game. Okay, so now that that's settled, let's give red 5 blocks. 5 block tokens. And we'll give the other team 3 block tokens. And then then the first team, or the red one, gets, looks like they get 5 dice. 5 dice, there we go. And then the other team gets 2. So then what you do is you roll the dice at the same time. So let me just roll dice for them. So it looks like they landed 3 punches and the other team landed 2. So that means this team loses 2 block tokens. They lose 2, and then this team loses 3. So it looks like fight 1. Fight 1, player 1 wins. So drag them to the winner, and then grab B. Grab B. There we go. Put them right here. And then put B from the other team right here. So do the same thing, but now with the B. So we got, on the Cobra Kai, we got same thing, they get 2 dice. But this one gets, let's see, they get 4 dice. So they only get 4 dice. So take 1, put it back in the pile. You can only play 1 flashback per fight, and they all do something different. You have to play before your next roll on each of them. I am so sorry, my mistake. This one only gets 4 block tokens. See? They should have had 4 block tokens to fight. But now that it's fight 2, they get 5 block tokens. Apologize for that. By the way, each character has its own unique action that you can play when it says to. If you encountered the same problem I had when I played this game, is that maybe this happens and then you don't have the right ones. Or let me say, like this. If this happens, then just remember the score and put the ones that are needed into the place. And then start the next fight. Whoever wins 3 fights wins. Here's the conditions. But actually, if you win, then you place the victory token and you are the winner of Cobra Kai. But if nobody wins or there's a tie, stay tuned. I'll tell you what happens. Before I go to that, I need to mention that if you get to round if you go to another fight, you have to reset the tokens. You don't lose all of them. So then when you re-roll, so it looks like 1, they punch 1, and they punch 1. If you don't beat the person immediately, sorry, there's an X. If you don't beat the person immediately, then you move on to round 2, where you use the belt symbol instead of the electricity. So then you get a different amount of dice, which is pretty cool. But the block tokens stay the same. If you both have no blocks left in the fight, whoever landed the most excess hits wins the fight. If there's still a tie, continue to re-roll until one player has landed more hits than the other. The player wins the fight, or that player wins the fight. If you tie, say it's 2 points and 2 points each, then tiebreaker round, A versus A, whoever wins that wins the game. For a 3-player, place all the brackets. Bracket A's go here. And then bracket B, do the same. But switch them up. And then whoever wins that fight goes here, whoever wins this fight goes here, and then whoever wins this fight, goes here, whoever wins this fight goes here, then whoever wins this fight is the winner. Okay guys, this is going to be a mouthful. There's 2 rival fighters, but that's not it. That's not the mouthful. The mouthful is there's 2 rival fighters, and whoever player gets their student eliminated in the first fight, or this one, gets to roll the dice on behalf of the rival fighter for the second fight, and follow the same process for bracket B. The player who gets their student eliminated in the third fight gets to roll the dice on behalf of the rival fighter for the fourth fight. If the rival fighters win their fights, the player who lost the previous fight will roll the dice on behalf of the rival fighter. By the way, you choose 2 random blues for the 3-player. And you choose bracket A and bracket B. I'm guessing this would be what it looks like. And obviously you go in numerical order, fight 1, fight 2, fight 3, fight 4. For player 4, it's the same thing, except you're playing with 4 people this time. But there's one thing I never noticed. You're supposed to give each A token to the person, and they randomly place them into the board. And then you do the same for bracket B, just randomly placing them. You're not supposed to look at them. Just randomly place them across the board. Every team will fight each other. Promise you that because of these. And then that. Since you guys are probably watching this how to play to learn how to play instead of buying the game, well, here you go. This is also another mode. You can play triple tourney mode. If you want a longer game, play through 3 tournaments instead of 1. Instead of discarding your flashback cards out of the game, discard them face down onto your sensei board. You will regain those flashback cards at the start of each new tournament. Score your students based on their progress. Winner, 5 points. Runner-up of finals, 3 points. And semi-finalists, 1 point. Whoever has the most points at the end of the 3rd tournament wins. Hope you guys enjoyed that. If you did, make sure to like, subscribe, and ring that bell to be notified for every video I make. Make sure to share this video if you think it's worthy. Thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!